Well, greetings, and thanks for joining us for our 102nd episode of Lightbulb Moments. We are actually not live on YouTube today, but we usually are. So go ahead and subscribe to our channel to check out past Lightbulb Moment episodes. And yes, so remember, money isn't the most important thing in life. But it is reasonably close to oxygen on the gotta have it scale. I'm Tom Kuhn from Qnity, as well as Qnity for Schools, and then also Qnity Institute, as well as a Beauty Changes Lives board member, which, by the way, I am proudly sporting my new long sleeve Beauty Changes Lives shirt, which is now available at the Beauty Changes Lives website. Qnity really is in the space of helping to create financial wellness for multiple industries, primarily in the professional beauty and wellness industries, certainly known for simple and visual tools, as well as our Qnity in Action program. And really what we're here to do is to help take what is confusing, overwhelming, and complicated, and turn it into something that is simple, visual, and actionable, which are the new rules of engagement. Financial wellness for pro beauty, whether it's students through our Money EDU or Money Pro, which is our financial wellness course for professionals, or Money SBO, which is our financial management and profitability program for owners, which, by the way, we do have a new date for Money SBO coming up in the spring. I'll mention in a little bit. Remember to prosper, manage your ATM, your attention, time, and money. The three precious currencies we have in life. We certainly appreciate the attention and time that you're spending with us today, because you know your time is precious. Today, we have as a guest spotlight, we have Winn Claybaugh. Notice there's an exclamation point next to his last name. I've been dying to get Winn back on for some time. He was one of my favorite guests in one of the first 100 episodes. So we have some precious time scheduled for a hopefully high octane conversation on asking and impact in a little bit. We're also going to bring the one and only Kevin Lightheart, who has Kevin's Corner. Perfect time of year to hear from a CPA about some tax tips. That will be towards the end of the program. It'll be very top line and somewhat short, and it will lead to more frequent, as we lead into the end of the year, practical ways that you can address something that has major financial implications for most of us, and something that is often overlooked, and that is the importance of taxes and tax planning. Each of us will spend at least $500,000 in our lifetime on taxes. You are allowed to avoid taxes, just not evade taxes, and Kevin can help you with tips to avoid taxes. Remember, we have a Lightbulb Moments website. We would love to hear from you. If you have a lightbulb moment of your own, you can send it over to the website. Also, if you'd like to go in the barrel, and that is if you would like to share some a pain point, a challenge, something where you want sort of speed feedback on something. It's for a very brave soul, and it's only after vetting and having a conversation with you. So it's a feature that we have at most of our conferences. It adds a little grit. So we're always looking for people that have something that they want to go in the barrel on. My Lightbulb moment goes back to the last time we were together, which is one of the longest gaps we've had in history of Lightbulb Moments. It was 3 weeks due to Thanksgiving, 2 big events, travel, blah, blah, blah. But we're glad to be back with you. And the last episode was with Jenny Weaver of Ally Health. And as this is her Lightbulb moment, or our Lightbulb moment from her, 50% of counties within the United States do not have a mental health provider. Many therapists are not taking on new patients, and wait times have been extremely long. Jenny is from a company called Ally Health that makes mental health care accessible from your house, your break room, and your car. One of the things that we've learned in our compensation studies is some of the employee benefits that are near the bottom of the list and how they might be able to creep up the list a bit. Certainly, we know that financial wellness is something that should or can be a employee benefit that would be valued by employees, that would help recruitment, retention, et cetera. And then with Ally Health, it is an affordable solution for telemedicine and healthcare. This is how you would get information. We are help jumpstarting Ally Health into the beauty industry. So we certainly support and seeing the results of this. All right. The spotlight today is with Winn Claybaugh. And how do I introduce Winn properly? Well, that's a very difficult thing to do. But I do want to share some things about Winn in particular that really, I think, set a tone for the most recent interaction I've had with Winn, which was to attend a gala, a fundraising gala in Beverly Hills, and it had a big impact on me. And that's where the conversation is going to center today. Anyway, his schools, Winn Claybaugh, as you can see, he's from the Paul Mitchell schools. They have, he's one of the co-founders. Schools have raised over $24 million to date. Celebrities that he has partnered with and has had as ghost hosts for the gala and fundraising campaign include Betty White, Dolly Parton, Vidal Sassoon, Magic Johnson, Larry King, Marie and Donnie Osborne, Lisa Gibbons, and Gary Sinise, who, by the way, is from my hometown, Highland Park, Illinois. Anyway, Winn is something that the last time I had him on inspired the hell out of me, to tell you the truth, and I've been dying to get you back. So Winn, come on onto the camera today, will you? Good morning.
There I am. Sorry about that. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm excellent. Thanks, Tom, for including me.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. We love Beauty Changes Lives. Thank goodness that we've had that opportunity. Linnell is a pretty brilliant, passionate woman. So anything that she does with Beauty Changes Lives is something that we want to get behind. And I love that you added the exclamation point to the end of my name, because some people say that I make coffee nervous. And by the way, I like that about myself.
Oh my gosh, Winn, I always have, there's always a higher octane when I'm with you, because in certain cases, you're just at a different scale that many of us are familiar with. I would wager a guess that pretty much anybody on this call would be happy if they were part of raising $2.4 million over a period of time. Your group is at over $24 million that you've raised. And, I had read about your fundraiser. I had, all the kind of, stuff, but then you invited me to attend. I think insist might be a better word. Just joking. And I think I really got it. And what I got was that these are students. They're actually raising the money. So anyway, our conversation today will center on asking, because you're a guy that asks and asks big, and then making an impact, and the importance of starting young. So should we go for it?
Absolutely. And by the way, I love how Tom prepares for these things, because he doesn't just wing it today. Although it might look like he does, this was planned, and Tom and I had the opportunity to get on the phone with each other last week and have an incredible conversation. And I think I enjoy those little private times that we have just as much as when we're live with your incredible audience. So thanks for that.
I do too, and thank you for that. So this is a pretty impressive group of people that you enroll to be part of your gala. I mean, these names, Larry King, who I know he had a very special relationship. You had a very, very special relationship with the Osmonds. You have very special relationships with people. So how did you meet these people?
Okay, your audience is going to love this. So yeah, we worked with Betty White, Dolly Parton, some pretty Magic Johnson, some pretty incredible heavy hitters. And if you call their manager, call any celebrity's manager or their agent and say, hey, I really want to make a connection with that celebrity, what's their answer? No. That's what they're paid to do. Their answer is no, my client, my celebrity is too busy. So what you do is you go to their hairdresser. So how I got to Dolly Parton was through her hairdresser. How I got to Betty White was through her hairdresser, because, you know, as we all know, hairdressers are connected to everybody and they can make things happen.
It's a fascinating and creative and practical solution. And now, so you've developed these relationships with these high profile individuals, and what is their role in the gala?
Okay, and that's a really important question, because I'm not utilizing my relationship with these celebrities for my own personal benefit. So as an example, so Dolly Parton was at our event, and the reason why we worked with Dolly Parton is to raise money for her incredible foundation, which is Imagination Library. So she has provided literally millions of books for children. And so that was our relationship. Let's raise money for this wonderful cause that we believe in and that we want to support. And so so Dolly Parton jumps on her bus. She doesn't really fly. She has this incredible bus. By the way, she has a hairdresser and a makeup artist that travel with her. They happen to be her nieces. And I'm proud to say that she sent both of her nieces to my Paul Mitchell school to get trained in hair and in makeup. And that's who travels with her. And so there she is at our event, and she's lovely, and she's engaging, and she's personable, and she's all these wonderful things. Well, the very next week, Dolly Parton was performing at the Hollywood Bowl. Okay, so there I am at the Hollywood Bowl, and I have the worst seat at the Hollywood Bowl. I'm in the very, very back. So Dolly Parton is like this big to me, right? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I should be there on the front row. Well, I didn't utilize my relationship with Dolly Parton the week before and say, hey, Dolly, I'm going to be at the Hollywood Bowl. Can you get me good tickets? That's not my relationship with any of these celebrities. And this is an important message, because sometimes I think that we over ask, right? My objective in having relationships with these wonderful, incredible, powerful people, because as you and I know, Tom, that they can make things happen with one phone call. And they could do that in 2 seconds that it would take you and I a year to accomplish. And so, yeah, these relationships are really important, but I'm very clear as to why I have these relationships. It's to raise money, it's to make a difference, it's to give back, it's to be a contributor. It's not to get good tickets at their concert.
I know that that's a very important point, and it really speaks to the integrity of you and the event and the true reason why you do the gala. Let's go over to impact for a moment here, and I'm going to kind of cut to the chase with a statistic, one that you shared with me. And by the way, Winn had sent me in advance that we'd be happy to make available to any of you a press release that is a really good read. Paul Mitchell Schools raised $1 million for charity. It's not just a press release, but it's a bit of an essay on giving and what have you. So if any of you want the press release, put your email in the chat and Sonia will take note of it and she'll send it to you. Secondly, Winn, you sent me something called Generation G, an article about generosity. I'm having a slip of the tongue today. And I'm just going to pull out one statistic here, okay? So what it says is 86% of global consumers believe that businesses must place at least equal weight on society's interests as their own business interests. Next, any brand or individual doing exceptionally well will be expected to join Generation G. So certainly it's altruism, it's philanthropy, it's making an impact, but really what you're doing is you're teaching students before they're making $1 in their craft, they're raising money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important because oftentimes what can happen, and maybe some of your listeners can understand this, relate to this, is, we open up our business or we start our careers and we're building a clientele. We're trying to build a salon team, and we just put our head down and we just work. And all of a sudden, 10 years later, we bring our head up and we're like, oh, okay, I'm making money. I'm paying my bills. I bought a new car. I'm enjoying my life, but I haven't done anything to give back. In other words, what we have become are consumers. And all of us consume. We consume water.
I'm detecting
consume oxygen. We consume trees. And what we need to become are consumers. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we're having some technical difficulty. You're back right now, though.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Just so you guys know, Tom, when you and I spoke, I was in my office and then I jumped on the plane. So I'm actually in Utah at my 95-year-old mother's home. I wanted to be here with her for the week. And so I apologize that Mom probably does not have the best internet. I'm just saying. Okay.
I think it's amazing where you are and who you're with, and we appreciate you from whatever part of the world you're in. And yes, internet could be a little bit spotty in different spots. So
well,
anyway,
I'm not sure where I dropped off, but
you
my
talked
point
about
is that
consuming. Most of us consume.
and which is fine, because we consume the paychecks of our customers, and that's great. And what Generation G is all about is that we have to be contributors too. So yes, you consume paychecks of your customers, but you also need to then turn around and contribute. And that article, those facts and statistics that you just shared from Generation G, and again, the G stands for generosity, proves that 86% of consumers, that's a high percentage. 86% of consumers will switch from one brand to another brand based on whether or not that brand, that business, is contributing back. So yes, you're taking money from the community, but are you turning around and giving back? Meaning, are you just as concerned with putting money back into the community to do good things, to give back, as you are with putting money into your own pocket? And let's face it, our customers, they have a decision to make on where they're going to spend their money. And of course, they make that decision with their head, but they also make that decision with their gut. Do I like you? Do I trust you? Cool that your salon has marble floors. Cool that you give an incredible massage. It's wonderful that you have the best music and incredible gourmet coffee. Yes, those things are important, but are you also making a difference in my community?
So, I'm reflecting on this. I love this conversation, and I was so looking forward to it. And staying in the moment's important. And in the moment, I'm just thinking to myself. So I'm out there, and I'm really struggling to try to build a culture. I'm struggling to maybe not build a culture. Maybe that's the wrong way to put it. The bigger problem is I'm trying to find staff. I'm trying to keep staff. It's such a basic fundamental thing that we're all relating with, is that there's talent needs out there. And this is very compelling from a attraction standpoint and retention. So I want to get a little pragmatic. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh, how much time do you have? Now, first of all, yeah, we're all feeling that people are quitting. They call it the mass exodus. People are quitting their jobs post-pandemic. They're quitting their jobs even though they don't have a backup plan. Now, there's a good side to that, is that a lot of the people who quit their jobs, they quit corporate America, they quit jobs that they hated, are returning to the beauty industry, meaning that was their first love. That's what they wanted to do years ago, but somebody talked them out of it. And so there's some good news about all of this. And I'm experiencing that in our Palm Mitchell schools and across the board, there is an increase in enrollment. People want to follow their heart and do what they wanted to do originally and enter the beauty industry. Now, when it comes to stylists out there, of course, they have a decision too. And that decision is based on culture. And so when you mention the word culture, yeah, it is about building a culture, right? Because you have to attract. The meaning of the word attract means that things will come to you. And get this, 50% of people who quit their jobs did so because of the boss, did so because of a toxic culture. And by the way, it's not the bad employees that are quitting, it's the good employees. And why are they quitting? Because they know they deserve better. And really, really simple. Here's what our employees, what our stylists, what our independent contractors are looking for. A culture that focuses on three things. They want to feel safe. They want to feel that they belong. And they want to feel that they have a purpose, that they're making a difference. Number three, that they have a purpose. And Tom, that's what you and I are talking about. The idea of Generation G that, yeah, I'm working in this salon. I cut amazing hair. Yeah, I have a paycheck. I'm doing well. But do I have a purpose, right? Is there something more than just cutting hair all day? And people need to have that purpose. And the reason why people quit their jobs in the beauty industry or in corporate America was because of that reason. Do I have a purpose? Am I making a difference?
You know, I know a lot of owners and leaders that are very impact driven, and they give so much of their time, and they volunteer and this and that, and a lot of it's behind the scenes. And how do you let the team know that? How do you let the team, because a lot of times, let's say someone's active in industries affairs and works on some nonprofits, it pulls them out of the business is what it does. And they're less visible to the staff, and it might even be seen as a negative, you know? So it's a bit of a conundrum, you know, while there's a generation that feels strongly about giving and wants to be part of an organization like that, do they always appreciate it?
No, and that's our job, is to teach them. So I have brand new students in school, so they don't even have a career yet. They don't have a paycheck yet, right? They might be working 3 jobs. They might be at Starbucks, coming to night school, right, to be able to make this happen. And they can barely pay their own rent. And yet here we are asking them to give back, to raise money, to do a bake sale, to do a cut-a-thon, to participate in a fashion show, right, to raise money for people that they will never meet. Right? We feed 10,000 orphans every single day through Food for Africa. We're never going to meet those orphans. Those orphans are not going to send an email or a text to my students and say, hey, thank you so much for providing food for me. That's never going to happen. And yet we still ask our future professionals, our team members, and our students to get involved in that. And the reason why is, first of all, statistically, even though people are making less or people are struggling, did you know that giving is up in the last couple of years? That even though people are struggling themselves, that more people are giving, and that the amount of money that they're giving is not huge, but more people are giving. So that $24 million that you mentioned earlier that we have raised, that's not by receiving $1,000 donations. That's $5 at a time, $10 at a time. Very grassroots, and that has resulted in over $24 million. So again, I can't even remember the question that you asked me, but it had to do something.
Do they appreciate, you know, an owner that's active, it's giving and has that spirit?
Okay, there you go.
And then
Sometimes
it's like,
when
my team doesn't participate, and we're doing all this stuff, but I can't get my team to participate. They don't seem to value it. That
doesn't matter. It's like being a parent. Right? You show by your example, and sometimes they get it and sometimes they don't, right? Like the simple example of teaching a salon owner the value, the importance of having a team meeting, a team huddle, getting your team together on a regular basis to have a meeting, to communicate with each other. And you plan that. You start on time. It's a positive experience. You show love and gratitude and appreciation for it. And then out of a staff of 20 people, only 5 of them show up. And then the salon owner will tell me, well, I canceled the meeting. Why? Because only 5 showed up. In other words, you rewarded the resistors. You rewarded people who do not want to support you, and you punished the 5 who are there for you. Who cares about those that do not show up? What do we say? SW, SW, SW. Some will, some won't. So what? So maybe those 5 who do participate with you in raising money, they show up to the 5K cancer walk. They show up to the cut-a-thon. Maybe it's only 5 out of the 20, but those 5 go back and they share their experience. Oh my gosh, I got to make a difference. I was on Skid Row working with the homeless doing hair. I got to work with the Gary Sinise Foundation and take care of the wives of those wounded heroes. I got to make a difference. And then the next time it's not 5, it's 7 who show up. It's 7 out of 20. But what you're doing is you're building a culture. You're building a culture. And as every great leader will teach you, culture eats systems and everything else for lunch. Nothing is more important than your salon culture.
This is awesome. A great conversation. And, so asking big and making an impact.
Can I make one more comment on that?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some people have this belief that if you give money, if you donate money or donate your time, your skills, your talent, that you should be secret about it, right? And I understand that concept, right? Well, I'm going to donate $1,000, but I'm going to be anonymous. I'm not going to tell anybody about that. And I understand that concept, but you have to understand that these nonprofits, any nonprofit, they have to run their nonprofit organization as though they are a legitimate business, meaning they have rent to pay, they have salaries, and they have marketing expenses. Well, if I can help them save money on marketing because I am very vocal about my love and support of that charity. Hey, I love Children's Miracle Network hospitals. In fact, our schools donated over $1 million to them. Now, I could be secret about that, but if I'm vocal about it, and if I promote that and I post that, then what that does is it lets other people know, wow, I've never heard of Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I've never heard of Food for Africa. I've never heard of the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking, but Winn Claybaugh is talking about it. He's posting, he's bragging about the fact that they've donated millions of dollars to these charities and organizations. Maybe I should look into it as well. And by doing that, by being vocal about it, I'm helping those nonprofit organizations put more money out into the communities where they are really, really good at making a difference.
Yeah, no, that's really addressing something that I think is sort of subconscious for all of us, the whole, do it anonymous, do I have my name, attached to it? So what a great call out. And it's a fascinating point of view. So let's kind of step back and look at the world of business for a moment as we start moving into the end of the year here and we start looking at next year. So you're an entrepreneur. You truly are an entrepreneur. You've even started your dog grooming studios. Can you give just like a 1 minute on that one, just so I can level set with people?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, so we started a new company, a new brand called Salty Dog, and the idea is sometimes dog grooming can be a horrific experience for our animals, right? They take them into the back of the grooming place. You don't see them. 2 hours later, they come out all skittish and like, what happened back there? And so what we have created is this incredible storefront that's very, very transparent. So you can see everything that's going on. It's all glass. And what we're doing is we're hiring hairdressers. Get this, people who are trained on humans. And if I were to ask my 10,000 students attending my schools, how many of you love animals? Like 30%. They love some of them love animals more than they love humans. And they're trained on how to cut hair. So now we just put them through a course on how to groom animals. And it's exploding. We have several locations and a lot more that are under construction right now. It's a very exciting opportunity. So thanks for asking about that.
So the next part of the conversation is something that we didn't prepare for. Not that we spent a ton of time preparing. We had some time together, and I, like you, I like to show up at least having a direction in the conversation. But where my mind goes next is A couple words come to mind with you. It's I already mentioned entrepreneurship, but I'm also going to mention the word innovation. So let's talk about innovation for a moment. It's hard when you do something to step back and say, hey, that's innovative, but that's pretty damn innovative to do what you're talking about with the dog studios. That's pretty innovative to have to get celebrities through their hairdresser, and that's pretty innovative to get students to start giving sooner. So you're an entrepreneur and an innovator. Where is innovation going to take you next?
Huh.
You weren't ready for that one, were you?
No. But maybe this isn't answering your question, but the idea where it's going to take me next is that I'm going to shrink my circle. And here's the reason why. And here's what I'm talking about is whenever you are an entrepreneur, whenever you are an innovator, meaning, hey, I have a great idea. There are so many naysayers, and especially in social media, right? We rely so much on the voices and the opinions of total strangers out there who will talk us out of our innovation. No, that's never going to work. No, that really sucks. No, you don't know what you're doing. No, you do not have credibility. You don't have the looks or the skills or the talents to be able to pull that off. And I think that as I get older, although my influence might be large, although my circle of influence is getting bigger and bigger, my circle of close friends, the people that I love, the people that love me and support me, gets smaller and smaller. And the reason why is because the world that we live in has a lot of naysayers. There's just a lot of people who want to tell you that whatever your idea is never going to work. And so we need to be surrounded by the people who truly, truly believe in us. Even on those days, and I have lots of them, on those days when we wake up and say, what am I doing and why am I doing this? Why can't I just be comfortable and settle with what I have already created? Gosh, I've got over 100 Paul Mitchell schools. Isn't that enough? No, my heart is telling me that I'm not done. I'm 63 years old, but I'm not done. Again, my mom's 95. It's in my DNA to live a very long time. I have a 10-year-old daughter. I want her growing up, seeing her dad not on the couch, but her dad is out there innovating, that her dad is out there living his best life and his dreams. And to be able to pull that off, gosh, I need so much love and support and people who believe in me.
Yeah, wow, that's well said. I mean, your daughter was like a little princess at the gala. She was up on stage with you and you were proud as a peacock there, and that's awesome. So entrepreneurship, innovation, you get to the point where you've already created some pretty big engines that allow for innovation even within it, even within the world, the Paul Mitchell schools, the school industry. Obviously, there's volatility in any industry. And so, your steering wheel's pretty big there in terms of what you're steering here. Now, you've also got an amazing team of people you work with, and we've got to meet some of them. So, we've got a few more minutes here, and I was led to the subject of entrepreneurship and innovation. And I think you also gave us some life lessons and what, chapter you're at in life. So what else do you want to kind of prognosis for us, for example, next year, like going into next year? Is there a few intentions that you're starting to form as we do that annual ritual of closing a chapter on 1 year and opening up a new chapter? So what does next year look like for you? Have you even thought about it yet?
Well, of course I have. I think, and again, I'm talking to an audience of leaders and managers and entrepreneurs. That's who your audience is. And all of you were so good at helping your team and your circle navigate through a crisis, the crises of COVID. And a lot of people have this attitude that I can't wait to get through that so we can go back to life as normal, so we can return to what we used to know. And just my message is that's not going to happen. We're not going to return back to the way things were before. And so as good as you have been in navigating through this crisis, we now have to be even better at navigating people out of COVID. And that means that it's a whole new world and everything happens for a reason. And the reason is always for our good. So no, we're not going to return to the way things were before. But what we are going to do is navigate into something much better. And it's super scary. And so, you ask about how do I prepare for that? This is funny. So my 10-year-old daughter, a couple of months ago, told us that she no longer believes in Santa. She no longer believes in her elves on the shelf, right? Now, of course, a couple of days before, the elves are supposed to show up, and those parents out there, that December 1st, they all show up, right? The day before December 1st, all of a sudden, she makes the announcement that she does believe in Santa and she does believe in the elves, meaning what she's saying is that she wants all the trimmings. Now, all of a sudden, she's a big believer. She wants to have the magic. She wants to have the decorations and the lights and everything that goes with it. And that was a great lesson for me, because not only does my 10-year-old daughter want that, so does my team. We have navigated through something that was really, really difficult, and not just exclusive to the beauty industry, but the entire planet has gone through this collectively. And what we do as leaders is help people navigate to the next level. And right now we are in the season of celebration. We are in the season of love and of appreciating each other and of letting people know that they're safe and that we got their back. Do you know that 60% of people say no one has my back? And half of them are married. Oh my gosh, what a great opportunity we have to help people know that, guess what, you belong to this culture. And as we navigate through this season, that's going to help people prepare for the next year. And the next year, you better believe we have big goals. We have big plans. Well, deposit in your people now. Deposit in your culture now, because you're gonna ask them to make a huge withdrawal next year, right? Well, now is a beautiful opportunity that we have to show our love and our appreciation for our people. And I'm going to be very, very bold and very, very vocal and very, very visible in the year 2023 with the big plans that I have.
Well, can't wait to learn more. Now, before I let you go here, and before I give you your virtually award your $1 million light bulb, speaking of 2023, you've got your gala, and I got the date when I was there last year, and we actually changed the date of one of our events to be available for your gala next year. So I think it's next October. I don't know exactly what the dates are. We certainly would love to see you in Austin, Texas on May 16th for the evening light bulb moment celebration. I'm certainly hoping that this goes to ink on your calendar.
I just wrote it down, my friend.
All right. We would love to have you to be part of a special event, Light Bulb Moments at the Phil. Yes, it is official, guys. We are going to be in Austin, Texas at the Phil next year. We have a killer property right on the river. I think we found like the best property in Austin, Texas, where we're going to have it at. And we're going to have a amazing Sunday night celebration of Light Bulb Moments. Winn Claybaugh has verbally agreed to join us that night. And then on the Monday and Tuesday, we're going to have our second annual Phil conference, and we are all jazzed up about that. All right, let's everybody give Winn a virtual loud round of applause. Send him a little bit of love in the chat. Winn, you will forthcoming have I think it's your second $1 million light bulb. And maybe your daughter can put that in her room, and maybe you can put some lights in there and maybe do something special for her this holiday season.
Thank you so much. And first of all, I love Austin, so thanks for that. We have a Palm Mitchell school there. We're soon to have a Salty Dog pet grooming salon there in Austin, Texas. What a great location. And Tom, I love the work that you're doing. Because you go to a major hair show and the center stage with all the models, that's packed, but the business classes sometimes can be empty, and that's starting to switch. Now people are like, I got to go find the business class. I got to learn about how I'm going to run a better business, and the work that you do with Qnity and your incredible team. What would you do without Aaron? I'm really proud of what you're up to.
Thank you, Winn. Appreciate it. And glad you celebrated the team. We have so many on today. Sony, we have Michelle, we have JP, we have Lisa. You know, it takes a village, so we're all proud of them. All right. Winn, you take care. Spend some time with your 95-year-old mother. And we're going to have you on sometime next year. And thanks again.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
All right, let's bring to the forefront here. We have Kevin Lightheart. So let's get Kevin on the mic. Kevin, are you there with us? Okay, I'm looking for Kevin here. I might have to make him a host or something like that. All right, well, here we go. Okay. All right, we're getting there. Kevin, let's have you come on. You're still on mute. There he is. All right. Kevin, how are you?
Am I here? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Kevin, how would you like to follow that act today with some tax planning tips?
That was exactly what my first comment was going to be. Wow, how do I follow that? Right? I feel like I just ran a 10K and trying to catch my breath a little bit. But yeah, that was amazing. Winn was amazing. That was great. A great segment. Well done. Well done.
So it's that time of year, and light bulb moments, a big light bulb moment we all should have, if it hasn't been ingrained in us, is that tax planning matters. And
Yes.
We're at that time of year, and there is a deadline to year-end tax planning, hence the definition year-end. So it doesn't take much math. Now, we're going to have you on next week, and I think we're on the next 2 weeks, and we're going to have you on with some bite-sized chunks. And so just what I want to do with you today is just sort of set the stage for, you know, tax planning and some things to maybe be aware of, just some bite-sized chunks. We're only going to spend about 3 or 4 minutes together today on it. So,
all right. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I guess my tax tip today in Kevin's corner is the importance of tax planning, year-end tax planning, but not just year-end, year-round. We try with our clients to do it at least 3 times a year, May and June, right after tax season, then August, September, get through, you know, the first half of the year into the third quarter, and then this time of year. We as CPAs, especially tax CPAs, spend a lot of our, after we get through the October 15th extension deadline, doing year-end tax planning for our clients. So that's what I'm spending a lot of my time doing this time of year, is doing the important year-end tax planning. And like you said, a lot of things that we try to do is you have to do it by the end of the year, or you can't, you know, it won't be effective this year. So, you know, I guess, again, it's just the importance of making that a priority and doing it on a regular basis, not just end of year, but at minimum end of year. And the key components, and as you mentioned, we'll get into more specific bite-sized things, but some of the key components, first of all, one is to do it, have it planned and do it. 2 is to have timely, accurate information so that tax planning and projection is effective and useful. If you have bad information or not timely information, you know, what's the point? And so that's important to do that. And so, you know, have a good system in place makes that part of that process. Whether, you know, whatever system you have, you know, have a good system that can get good information and timely information. A couple other quick things when it comes to tax planning. As business owners, you do what you do and you're great at doing it. But a lot of business owners don't understand financial statements, don't understand taxes, may be intimidating to them. You know, when we ask what are the kind of the words that come to mind to people when they think about taxes, they may say boring, first of all, intimidating, complicated, maybe even anger. You know, having to pay taxes to start with. And we do our best to ease all those feelings and frustrations that you may have. But knowing as a business owner, being educated on financial statements, what that means, try to educate to at least to a degree what taxes all mean. And again, you do what you do, or business owners do, and we do what we do, and we work together to be successful. But to know as a business owner what tax basis you are, cash or accrual, it makes a difference. And what type of tax entity are you, and what does that mean? Are you a Schedule C? Are you an S Corp, LLC? And what that means as a business owner. So those are some high level, foundational elements before you even meet to have a tax planning meeting, is to have those things in place, and then we can get into the nuts and bolts. And one last thing, tax planning, taxing, it's not a one size fits all. Every business is different. Every business owner's situation is different. So obviously you have to kind of specialize it or customize it for each customer and each client for their individual needs.
Yeah, it's when you were talking here, I just recalled that last week refilmed the tax literacy or the tax module of our financial literacy program for students. And, just like Winn is talking about the importance of impact early, letting students know early
Right.
that taxation's, very complicated, changes often, and it's an area where you could waste a lot of money. So we'll have you back next week.
Looking forward to it.
The other thing that I did want to make a comment about, really for general consumption here, is that as many of you know, I had a transition planning practice for about 5 years, where I was very active, had over 50 clients, was involved in a lot of transactions. It was a ton of fun. In order for me to handle other things such as impact related projects like compensation, the Pro Beauty compensation study that we're immersed in right now, and other matters, I've really dropped a practice of transition planning. However, I am doing some work with Kevin. Kevin does have expertise in transition planning, and I've helped jumpstart a couple projects with Kevin. So it's another area that if you're interested in, even though we're really talking about Kevin's Corner and year-end tax planning, just heads up, I do know that some of you are looking for some of that support. Right. You can still send an email to me and I'll link you with Kevin. But we can talk more about transition planning in another episode. Sound good, Kevin?
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. So let's see what else we have here before we wrap up today. And God, it's just so good to be back with everybody here. All right. So Sonia Eklund is our Lightbulb moment producer. She is, I'm going to go back here for a second. On our website, it is a place where you could submit ideas for guests, even throw your hat in the ring to be a guest, suggest some light bulb moments you want to highlight. You can also do it in the chat, of course, but just stay in touch with us. We really want to make sure that the second 100 episodes for light bulb moments are awesome, great value, relevant for you, and that you're involved. And the whole idea of a roundtable is community. Now, we do have I didn't even put the date on here. We'll have to put it in the chat, but we do have a upcoming, a lot of people have been asking about this because we did a program in September on Money SBO. This is financial management made simple and visual. So this is really for small business owners and their managers, their bookkeepers, et cetera. It's very much about profitability through very sound financial management practices. Candace Gliato is the lead on that, and we do have a session coming up next March. The Brain Trust, Winn is back in the Brain Trust. Kevin's a regular member of the Brain Trust. Get your calendar out. We will soon have some infographics and the full report from the Pro Beauty compensation study. Save the date. Did I give Winn the wrong dates? I think I gave Winn the wrong dates for the fill. It's May 21st and through May 23rd. I'm going to send him a text right away. Shame on me. It was probably corrected in the chat there. But we're super excited. It is going to be in Austin, Texas. Enrollment is actually open, and we've got several exciting announcements coming up with that very soon. Also, we will be in New Orleans at Serious Business. January 15th and 16th. Aaron actually will have some main stage moments. It's been added to the it's been added to the agenda to talk about the compensation study. So we will be in New Orleans. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to our website, submit a light bulb moment. We would love to hear from you. And if any of you want to go in the barrel, that would be great. Any closing thoughts? I guess my closing thought is that I'm glad to be back with all of you. It's been a very adventurous few weeks here with some travels and some big projects that we've been working on. So anyway, I'm very grateful for all of you to show up today. I'm just going to do a quick scan of who joined us today and say a few hellos. Amanda, Andrew, Ann, Carly, Casey, Chelsea, Cheyenne, Christine, Holly, Jared, Jen, Jesse, Joe, Jean, congratulations, John, and a grandchild, Carrie, Carla, Kelly, Con, I saw your thing in the chat. Great. Good morning, Linnell, Marion, Marie, Mark, Marty, Megan, Melissa, Michael. Hey, Michael, Rachel, Sam, how are you? Sarah, Sharon, Sue, and Tammy. So anyway, thanks for joining us today. I will have just a moment to check out the chat. But meanwhile, we wish you a great rest of the week, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks again for joining us.